Welcome inside the Dunkin' Donuts Center here in Providence, Rhode Island. The bomb cyclone has hit New England. It is frigid. Outside 10 degrees, feels like -8. But guess what? It's sold out for number 5 Xavier against the Providence Friars. And hello there, everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Donnie Marshall. And Donnie, well, we've got the hottest team in the country in Xavier, who have won 10 in a row against a team in Providence. These two teams going in different directions.
Yeah, Xavier has really picked up their defense of late. They understand who they are. They have a toughness identity. On the other side, Providence, they're trying to figure it out. Eddie Cooley said they've had a lot of injuries, but so haven't a lot of teams around the country.
As far as this game is concerned, what is one aspect that you're looking for today?
It's just one word, it's toughness. Who can out-tough the other? And if you're talking about Xavier, everyone knows about Trayvon Blewett. But it doesn't get any tougher than J.P. McCura. He does everything at both ends of the floor. He will lead them in the toughness category today here in Providence.
Our starting lineup's brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. You see J.P. McCura in there with Trayvon Blewett. Those two guys are leading scorers for the Xavier Musketeers. For the Providence Friars, they go as Kyron Cartwright, their point guard, goes. He needs to have a big game for the Friars. The officials for today's game: Brian O'Connell, Lamar Simpson, and Brent Hampton. Providence in white, Xavier is in black. Capacity crowd 12,410 here at the Dunk. They're saying, what place can keep me warm here? I'm going to say, get as many people in this building as possible. That should warm us up because they had a hockey game here last night, so it was cold. It's starting to warm up now. The P Bruins, the Providence Bruins, were playing here last night. It'll be Tyreek Jones jumping center against Nate Watson. We'll do it again. Tyreek Jones, he's a local kid from Bloomfield, Connecticut, has 27 friends and family here attending this game.
And even the officials have to get warmed up a little bit, as we see on the jump ball.
All right, now we're good to go. Providence controls the tip, and here is the point guard, Kyron Cartwright, coming off a career-high 29 points in the loss to Marquette on Wednesday.
Important to see how they get Rodney Bullock involved early. Missed the last game due to flu.
Here's Bullock hitting the 3 early on.
And that's big. You get the crowd into it, you get your stud going early, and now you get Xavier on their heels a little bit.
J.P. McCura guarded by Alpha Diallo. Quentin Gooden, the point guard. Nice feed for Jones, and there's a dunk. And that should excite his friends and family.
Yeah, one of the interesting things when you're watching warm-ups before the game, one team very talkative in Xavier, laughing, joking, talking to each other. Providence, not so much, and you saw that they're affected by that. You have to communicate, and that starts earlier than the tip.
Cartwright step back jumper, no good. The rebound for Jones. Up ahead, here comes Blewett. McCura step back for 3, got it. J.P. McCura had 20 points against Butler on Tuesday, including 4 of 8 from three-point land.
We talk so much about how he sucks you in, he draws you in, he's so tough, some antics here and there, but he's a terrific player as well. I think that's the last thing people talk about. They forget about that at times with J.P. McCura. Talented young man.
Diallo in the corner for 3. That's a bit long, and the rebound is pulled down by Quentin Gooden. Gooden, little hesitation to the reverse. Pretty move off the glass, and a quick 7-3 lead for the Musketeers.
Xavier has terrific balance. You know about their wings and McCura and Blewett, but when you got a guy like Quentin Gooden who can put it on the floor, doesn't want to shoot from the outside. He's had some issues lately. He can get that to the rim, putting that ball on the floor.
Bullock against Kaiser Gates. His jumper, short, altered by Gates. Gates has the length to affect Rodney Bullock. Gooden has it blocked this time by Watson. McCura, the deep 3. In and out, and the rebound into the hands of Jalen Lindsay.
All jump shots right now for Providence. They got to put that ball on the floor, try to put some pressure on that defensive Xavier. Get the refs involved as well.
Alpha Diallo does put it on the floor. His pull-up jumper is good. Alpha Diallo had 16 and 8, 1 point off his season high.
I talked about the officials trying to get warm. We haven't had a whistle yet. They're still trying to get up and down and warm up a little bit.
Donnie, we don't want a lot of whistles. Come on. Jones against Watson. Jones, no whistle still. He wanted one that time. Bullock for three. Back rims it. Blew it up ahead. Blew it to the hoop. He gets it and the foul.
Boy, size. We know about Trayvon Blewett's ability to shoot the outside shot. Terrific outside shooter, but the body and the size to take the hit and to finish high. And that's the true sign of a scorer. Whenever you get hit, throw that ball high, give it a chance to go in. They got a chance to add one more to it.
A rare miss at the free throw line. An 88.5% free throw shooter is Trayvon Blewett. 9-5 Xavier lead. The foul was on Rodney Bullock, his first. Bullock backing down against Gates. Nate Watson, the freshman, kick out. Shot clock down to 9. Diallo for three, short. J.P. McCure with the rebound. And now Bullock has to be careful not to pick up his second foul.
Tell you what, all the jump shots by Providence, I'd like to say it's because of the great defense of Xavier. I just think they're settling right now.
Now Sean O'Mara, who comes in. He draws the foul. This time it'll go against Nate Watson. Chris Mack in his 9th year as the head coach is 1 win shy of tying Pete Gillen for the most ever in Xavier history.
Watch what you wish for, right? Couple foul calls.
Ed Cooley in his 7th year as the head coach of Providence. I think it's safe to say what he has done here at Providence, a local kid, he has led them to their highest level of continued success. 4 straight NCAA tournaments, first time in school history, 4 straight 21 seasons.
And that gets you a lifetime contract, which is what he signed this summer.
Lindsey, one dribble pull-up. That's what he can do.
I like the make, but I don't like the shot. If you pump a guy and you go by him, step back to 3. And long twos. I don't like those shots when you have an open ability to make an open 3.
So what, you've gone vegan, now you've gone sabermetric on me?
It's all about being efficient in life and in basketball, Mr. Kutcher.
Watson with the block. A chance here for Providence to tie with a 3. Cartwright to the corner. Bullock for 3 and the tie.
Talking to Eddie Cooley before the game, he said, we got to get a lot of shots for our guys, our studs in transition, and I would call that a transition bucket.
Here's a turnover, up ahead, Lindsey to the hoop, able to get the roll, a 7-0 run by the Friars. Blewett along the baseline, can't finish, Lindsey with a rebound, and Lindsey gets fouled. This sold-out crowd likes the 7-0 run and a 2-point lead for their Friars. Providence 1-2, but you know, you look down this Big East. I just had St. John's this past week. They're 0-3, but Donnie,
they're a good 0-3.
They're a good 0-3 team. They gave Creighton all they could handle at Creighton.
That's great for the fans and people supporting them. Means nothing for the coaches, though. They're thinking, hey, we got a goose egg in conference play right now, but you're right. There are no moral victories for teams and coaches, but if Chris Mullen can look back, show his team some tape of things they did well, and just maybe 1 or 2 minor tweaks, that could very easily be maybe 3-0.
And what I'll say here, there is no easy win in this conference. Bullock. Diallo puts it on the floor. Goes right at Karen Cantor, who has checked into the ball game, and he puts it in.
I love that. A small guy with a big guy guarding him, doesn't settle, tries to get by him, actually uses some body and gets to the rim.
Khalif Young has checked in number 13. O'Mara able to find Blewett for three. Trayvon Blewett gets it off so quickly and knocks it down, snaps a 9-0 run.
Those are tough plays. See, if you're Eddie Cooley, you're searching for the ball, and the one guy you don't want to be open, but Xavier knows where to find him.
And this will lead to a turnover. McCura in the corner for three. Can't connect. Cantor's got the offensive rebound. Blewett, a deep three. Gets the shooter's roll. How about that?
Would you say you should run him off that three-point line immediately, if not sooner?
8 points now for Trayvon Blewett.
And he can score him in a hurry. He's almost in that zone of, hey, take a layup. We'll just give Matador D, here's your 2 points. We don't want you taking us out of this, making a three.
And now a foul will be called against Blewett as we take a look at this touch by Trayvon Blewett.
Reminds me of a little Justin Kutcher bounce here. Look at this, a little soft bounce, and in, shooter's touch.
Hey, I learned from you.
Yeah, well, not how to do that, but some things we won't talk about on the air right now.
16-14, Xavier now leading. Along the baseline, Bullock, he gets the shooter's touch.
That's a misstep right there for Xavier. They're usually all over it. They're pointing, they're talking. Providence caught him off guard on that inbound play. Great job by the Friars.
And a turnover here by Paul Scruggs, who's just checked in. Cartwright trying to push the tempo. And now Cartwright got it! And the foul, as the foul is going to go against Scruggs. And notice how they push the tempo so that Xavier can't put their 1-3-1 defense in.
Anytime you can keep a team on their heels, and I think that started from the beginning by getting Bullock going, but this is just a great job by Kyron Cartwright. Change of direction, he got deep enough and used that strength to finish.
And the substitution now as Cartwright goes to the bench, Mekhi Ashton Langford checks in. 19-16, Providence lead here in the first half against number 5 Xavier. Najee Marshall, number 13, has checked in for the first time. The stud freshman for the Musketeers. Along the baseline, throws one up, a wild shot. Loose ball comes out. Isaiah Jackson, who's come in for the Friars, picks it up. Nearly a turnover. Ashton Langford. Bullock thought about the deep three. Plenty of time on the shot clock, 17. Bullock gets it in the corner for three. Rodney Bullock, 11 points here in the first half after missing the last game with the flu.
Most people are going to think about that offensive set. It started with the 2-3 zone at the other end, speeding Xavier up a little bit, unsure again.
An 8-0 run, a turnover here. Third turnover. Jackson. Bullock for three. Rebound comes out to Marshall. Blewett for three. And a foul will be on the floor. This will go against Isaiah Jackson. I tell you what, this first half so far, it is fun.
It's warming up.
Rodney Bullock in the corner for three. Bullock on fire so far with 11. Grand Cherokee here in Providence. It is a 22-16 Friar lead. Let's go inside the huddle with Chris Mack.
And put pressure on him. We want to deflect and rattle some of these guys that are taking their time. Cartwright, you got to give him the space. Those other guys, we got to pressure. Anybody who drives down the lane, Karen, you got to stay with it so you stay between him and the rim the entire time.
Hey, you can't go for shot fake either. He shot fake and hit you or some shit.
I love exactly what he's saying. You got to give Cartwright a little bit of space. He's just too fast to try to play up into his shorts. Also, he's strong enough now. If he feels that contact, he's going to take you right to the basket. Now, you want to pressure the Jalen Lindsays. You want to pressure the Rodney Bullocks. You don't want those guys standing still. So, I love it. Chris Mack just keeps it simple. Doesn't make anything too difficult. Give this guy space. Get up into this guy.
It's a 17-6 run over the last 4 minutes for the Friars. Of those 17 points, 8 of them been scored by Rodney Bullock, who's got 11 in the game.
Little fire lit underneath the Friars. They're coming off a very tough loss. And again, Rodney Bullock didn't play because of the flu, but that's just good teamwork. That's good coaching to say, let's get him going.
Cantor to Marshall. Marshall trying to go underneath, high-low. The 4th turnover of the game so far. Jackson, nice lead. And a good finish by Mekhi Ashton Langford. What a pass right there.
I love that Providence has come out and it's all business. You know, they were a little solemn before the game just because they didn't know how to feel after coming off that Marquette double overtime loss. But they look great today. They're sharp. They're playing together. They're talking.
Good move by Karam Cantor. Karam Cantor is a guy, a transfer from Wisconsin Green Bay, who can really be an added dimension to this team.
Plays a lot like his brother as well.
Enes Cantor, his brother, who plays for the Knicks. Ashton Langford getting inside. Cartwright for 3. What a start here for the Friars. Kind of shocking, the Musketeers thus far. Cantor has it blocked. The block by Khalif Young.
The thing you have to love about Xavier's defense is they'll get in that 1-3-1, even out of transition plays, off of missed baskets. When you see Mikura at the top of the key with that length, that's when you know they're in that 1-3-1.
In the corner, Cantor, Jones, he gets fouled by Cartwright, and they're going to say that foul was on the floor. Cartwright was pleading, saying, I got him on the floor.
Yeah, this is just a great job of ball movement, a little penetration. Cartwright giving his teammates some room and staying within the vision where your guys can see you, catch and shoot. Kyron Cartwright, you talk to anyone around this program, they say he is one of the smartest players that has ever come through here. Smartest people, I should say. And you can tell right there by that play. I fouled him early on the ground, ref. Most players would just walk away and say, hey, raise your hand, I fouled him. That's a heads-up play. You just have to get there quicker so you don't have to take the foul.
Substitutions here for Xavier. Bluish back in, misses it. Off a little give and go on the inbounds play. Bluish back in, Gooden's back in, as is Kaiser Gates for the Musketeers, so their starting lineup is on the floor. Trailing by 9 with 9:45 to go here in the opening half. A team that's won 10 in a row, 15-1 in the season. Lindsay for 3, an air ball. That's the drafty side.
Yeah, someone close that door. That's the play that Ed Cooley said he's going to start running for Jalen Lindsay. He just has to take his time. I thought it was a little too quick. There was really no one trailing him. He had a good screen in front if someone tried to reach up over the top. Take your time, get your feet set. Terrific three-point shooter.
Jalen Lindsay on the season, 48.7% from 3. Kaiser Gates just goes right through his hands. And now he's battling with Cartwright, and the foul's going to be against Gates. That was a mental error right there by Kaiser Gates. Just took his eye off the ball.
The pass was probably just a tad too high for Kaiser Gates, but still, you scratch it, you catch it, Justin. If that's on your fingertips, you got to come down with that. Now, that's just great work, though, by Kyron Cartwright. Right now, the Friars are on their toes. I feel that Xavier's on their heels a little bit. The body language is telling everything for Providence right now. They're jumping, they're popping, they're talking, moving very well with and without the basketball.
5 turnovers so far already for the Musketeers. Ashton Langford takes a bump, and we're going to have an offensive foul. This is going to go against Mekhi Ashton Langford.
That's tough. You're freshman. You got to understand it's a good defensive team at Xavier.
Our Geico players to watch today. The teammates, Trayvon Blewett, JP Mikura. They're trailing right now, but their numbers this year, their career have been phenomenal.
And I know that they can't play at this rate all the time, but when you're on the road, you can't get down. You need those two guys to dig you out of this hole once you get into it. It's slow going for Chris Max Stubbs right now.
Providence in the zone. Mikura Gooden for three. Got it.
Boy, he needed that.
Quentin Gooden, that is just his second three of the year. 2 of 20 from three-point land on the season.
Needed that in more ways than one. More importantly for his mental state.
Jackson along the baseline. Cartwright, that's a deep three. And the rebound by Cantor. McCura in transition. He loses it. He thought he got fouled. Here comes Cartwright. Bounce pass for Jackson. Puts it in. And the foul. And McCura's looking back at the official saying, hey, come on now. You know I got fouled. But guess what? It doesn't matter because Providence is rolling here early on. 29-21. Friars on top of the Musketeers here in the first half. It is a 8-point lead for the Providence Friars. Let's go inside the huddle with Ed Cooley.
Shooters, keep doing, keep playing to your personality, man. Stay physical, keep fast. You understand? All right, everybody do a good job with that. All right, hey, a flip back. Make sure you set the back screen. All right, if you're at the 4, if not, we're gonna get you as a shooter. All right, flip back. Let's make sure we bully that. When we go thumb up again, I want to run the same thing when I want him in a hole. Thumb up and stagger away, it'll be open. All right? We good?
I love it. He's talking about being tough, bully. All these terms that sometimes when your team is questioning themselves a little bit, you got to remind them, listen, you're in the toughest conference in America.
Yeah.
You got to play tough. And sometimes you got to fake your way into these things. And Ed Cooley knows, and he's had some tough guys come through here over the last 5-6 seasons, so he knows how to get them motivated, and that's all your kids need to hear. I'm with you. Be tough. Your teammates got your back. Toughness it's the name of the game, but it's also what's gotten them the lead in this game today.
Isaiah Jackson converted a three-point play. He goes to the bench. Rodney Bullock comes in, and that's a kick ball. Otherwise, it was going to be another turnover for the Musketeers. They already have 6 in the game. How about the defense, though, for this Providence team? They've got 5 blocks and 5 steals already. They average 4 blocks a game. There's still 7:35 to go in the first half. Blew it for 3. No, Cantor tips it, gets the miss, and he gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line.
And you and I talked to Ed Cooley before the game, and that was one of the questions. And I mistakenly earlier said they went to 2 overtimes with Marquette. For a guy to score 52, I would imagine you'd have to have overtimes, but that's what Marcus Howard did. But Ed Cooley said our defense, no one really stepped up to change things in that 1 overtime loss to Marquette on Wednesday. Today, they've gotten the message. They've said, listen, we're going to stand in. He did now throw a 2-3 zone in there a few times, and it's messed with Xavier's mindset a little bit as far as what they want to do execution-wise, but it's all based on the energy that his team is giving defensively right now.
Cantor 1 of 2 at the line. Nate Watson picks up his 2nd foul, so he goes to the bench. Khalif Young has come in for him. 8-point lead for the Friars. Against the 5th-ranked team in the country, the Xavier Musketeers, 15-1, 3-0 in Big East play. Kyron Cartwright, the kick out. Open is Diallo for 3. Thought about it for too long and misses.
Yeah, check the wind direction and everything else on that shot.
Blewett, a nice skip pass. Blewett attacks the hoop. What a finish right there by Trayvon Blewett.
I tell you what, that's what I'd like to see Trayvon Blewett do more of. I know he shoots the ball well from outside and from 3-point range, but he's 6'7". Use your size. He can put the ball on the floor. His stock is growing every game.
He's got 10 points here in the first half. 6-point ball game. Shot clock down to 8. Cartwright threads the needle. What a pass by Kyron Cartwright to Khalif Young. Literally threading that needle right there, looking like Tom Brady up here in New England.
Easy, Coach. Easy. Do not use Tom's name in vain like that.
Cantor, pretty footwork. Can't get the roll. Khalif Young gets the rebound. Cartwright will reset. Lindsay left open in the corner for three. Knocks this one down. Largest lead of the game, 11 points for the Providence Friars.
And that's what Chris Mack is talking about a few timeouts ago. Get up into those guys.
Blewett turns it over. Cartwright, the up ahead. Lindsay, back to Bullock for three. This place would have erupted.
I love the attack right now by Providence, though. They're staying with it.
Khalif Young right there, that was a fatigue foul.
Yes.
He was just tired and just did that reach around foul, hoping that maybe he could poke the ball away.
And Jalen Lindsay, this is what he wants to do, catch and shoot. He's not going to put it down a lot. And the team understands. He finds that corner. They love it. But you're right. I love, you know, people say, oh, he's got to be in shape, and these kids, he's tired. That's a fatigue foul, which I agree with you. But as a coach, talking to all the coaches I've talked to over the years, they want their guys to be fatigued. The last thing they want is for a guy to pace himself and to be ready to just stay out there all game long because he's floating. So the fact that you have players out here who are breathing heavy, and yes, that was a fatigue foul. You like that because you know your guys are giving it everything. The energy in this building, who you're playing. If you can't get up and play hard for this, you need to change sports.
That was a 17th foul, so 1-and-1 as Cantor makes them both. This is a big-time answer by the Providence Friars after what happened here the other night, giving up 52 to Marcus Howard, blowing a 5-point lead with 1:15 to go. Kaiser Gates for three. That's short. Cantor with the offensive rebound has it blocked by Young. That's the 7th block already. Cartwright's pull-up. Looked like he slipped, still puts it in.
Well, he's the key. Yeah, you talk about that loss late to Marquette. 2 or 3 turnovers late by your leader, Kyron Cartwright, was a part of that problem.
Macura's threes in and out. Cantor has it stripped on the way up, out of bounds off of him, and it will be Providence ball. And off the bench is O'Mara.
Now just take a look. He slips, but he has his mind made up. His shoulders are square, gets enough lift and arm strength to get that ball over the front of the rim. But Kyron Cartwright, we talked about it. He's been ailing. He's had an injury. Woke up, back wasn't feeling great today. Came out here late before the game to warm up with the team. And some guys can, as soon as that ball goes up, they can just turn it on and go. They don't need all the warming up. Maybe he's one of those guys.
The Advil kicks in.
Or the fact that you're, what, 19, 20 years old? Come on.
Providence shooting 58% so far in this game compared to 38% for Xavier. Young finds a cutting Cartwright. Young off the glass, no. Bullock tries to cross the glass, and the rebound is pulled down by Najee Marshall. Gooden to Macura. Macura gets it back off the window, yes. And a timeout is called here by Chris Mack with 3:58.
Love it. Take the air out of the building. You score a bucket. Macura knows how to fabricate anything you need. But right now, the Friars are rolling at both ends of the floor. We got a good one here at the dunk, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks, Rob. We've got a great one here right now. 37-28. Providence leading number 5 Xavier. Justin Kutcher alongside Donnie Marshall here at the dunk in Providence, Rhode Island. And Donnie, you know, we were talking at the half, during the commercial break about what's going on in this game. It's not that Xavier is playing a poor game. It's just that Providence right now is playing a really, really good first half of basketball.
And think about this. Xavier has played 3 true road games, Kutch. And in those road games, Wisconsin shot 51%. Northern Iowa, 52%. Marquette, 51%. So what does that tell you? It tells you they're still trying to figure out how to travel. You know, it's like your golf game. If you're not on your golf course,
you're right.
You're hitting the ball off the planet.
You're right. That's scary.
You got to figure out how to play other places, and I think Xavier is trying to figure that out. But they've run into a buzzsaw with Providence today.
Lindsay misses the corner three. Paul Scruggs trying to lead this break and turns it over. Here's Lindsay with the steal. Lindsay, he gets it stripped by Scruggs. It will stay Providence ball, but that's a good recovery by the freshman, Paul Scruggs.
He's such a great athlete, Jalen Lindsay. Don't slow down. It's a track meet. It's a race to the rim. Keep going hard and dunk that ball. Don't wait for the contact.
Isaiah Jackson back out there on the floor. Cartwright waiting for the screen. Bullock. Shot clock down to 10. Cartwright. In some trouble. Shot clock at 5. Lindsay, shot clock at 2. And this will be a shot clock violation. Just the 4th turnover for the Friars.
Not the worst thing that could happen. It's a dead ball, but this is what you're talking about. When I tell you, listen, you're an athlete, what are you waiting for? Now that tells me he's not confident in the handle, one, because he's looking down, but he's such a good athlete, he could have taken 2 less dribbles and jumped. He is a tremendous athlete.
Speaking of jumping, they jump right there to try to trap Scruggs, and a foul will be called against the Friars.
Okay,
1-1 coming up.
You're chasing Trayvon Blewett at half court. You get any part of him, that's just respect to one of the best players in all of America right there. They're going to call that foul.
Trayvon Blewett at the line. Blewett 0 for 1 at the free throw line today. Blewett so far 10 points, 4 of 8 from the floor, 2 of 4 from three-point land. Bullock on the bench, and Blewett has missed both free throw attempts so far. Shocking. That foul against Bullock was his 2nd. You know what, Donnie? I actually think the final 250 really important right now, more so for the Friars than it is for the Musketeers.
Agreed. It's all about sustaining that same level that they put into this entire half before now.
Diallo for 3. Going up really high was Marshall for that rebound. Scruggs has it poked away by Jackson. Here comes Ashton Langford.
Decision making right here for Ashton Langford. Decision making so important. Kyron Cartwright off the floor. Can you pick up where he left off?
Lindsay run off that 3 by Akira. Ashton Langford. And O'Mara corrals the rebound up ahead for Najee Marshall. Marshall trying the European step through, just throws up a prayer, wasn't answered. Under 2 to go. Lindsay, the transition 3. No. Marshall with another rebound. And Lindsay was reading that one, nearly picked it off.
Gotta love the energy and tempo, though, the entire half. Both teams playing very, very hard. Providence is just knocking shots down.
Marshall, the corner 3. That's small. Blewett goes up high for the rebound. He's pushed out of bounds. And this will be another free throw opportunity. The 9th team foul. As this foul will be called against Scruggs. Well, tomorrow it is the wild card playoff game. It features the Panthers against Drew Brees and the Saints. It should be a fun one. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific tomorrow on Fox. It's a wild card playoff game, an NFC South showdown.
You live in Charlotte. Who are you rooting for?
You want to know the truth?
I do.
New Orleans. Time for our stat comparison, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Look at this. The Xavier Musketeers, almost 79%, 5th in the country compared to Providence, number 268 in the country, and Blewett makes both. I love living in Charlotte. I just think New Orleans is the better team. New Orleans is my team to go to the Super Bowl.
Wow. Strong words.
And I know people in Charlotte right now hate my guts for saying that. Cartwright. Little turnaround off the glass is short. Blewett from behind the backboard, the follow by O'Mara.
You're so right. About a minute and a half ago, you said very important for Providence. Eddie Cooley feels it too. Couple of those 50-50 balls, couple of You know, standing around watching Xavier on a 6-0 run. Scary time this last minute of the first half for the Friars. You gotta maintain. Gotta maintain. Listen, Xavier is number 5 in the country, not just because they have great uniforms, because they have a very good team and they have very good, I call them auxiliary players, and that's what Sean O'Mara is. He's one of those guys that continues to play. They don't stand around and watch their stars in Macura and Blewett. They help, and that's why I believe this is a team that we're watching right now, even though they're down, a team that can go deep and maybe even into the Final Four if they can stay healthy. They're that talented. A little low here, but they're only down 5. Chris Mack's probably happy that they're within striking distance heading into the half.
Elite 8 last year. This is a Final Four potential team this year. Providence 1 for their last 10 from the floor. Here's Cartwright with 43 seconds to go. Shot clock to 8. Jackson for 3, hits it, big shot for the Friars out of the timeout. 6 points now for Isaiah Jackson.
Macura fell asleep a little bit. Late challenge.
Macura to answer right back, no. Rebound out of bounds, it's off of the hands of Young, and it will stay Xavier ball with 19.3, so they can hold for the final shot.
Love the job Khalif Young is doing down low, making his presence known. Your best ability is availability, and he's shown that this entire first half defensively and on the glass.
Blewett will dribble it out. Here's Quentin Gooden. 10 seconds to go here in the first half. Macura. Blewett's got the ball. 5 seconds to go. Good defense. Macura puts up the 3 off the mark, and that's the way this first half will end. 40-32. The Friars leading number 5 Xavier. Providence last home win against a top 5 team. February 24th of 2009 against number 1 Pitts. That is the end of the first half. We'll get you to Rob Stone, Casey Jacobson, Steve Lavin in LA with a Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report right after this.
Keep doing it. Keep playing to your personality.
Keep playing to your personality. That is what Ed Cooley said to his team, and his team leads by 8 at the half. Justin Kutcher alongside Donnie Marshall here. And Donnie, that first half was a lot of fun to watch. Back and forth it went. What was really impressive was the defense for Providence, especially blocking shots.
Yeah, the energy was tremendous on their end, on the offensive end, but especially defense. Now, Justin, those of us who are above 5'6", I think that's how tall you are, we have block parties. You have different kind of parties. We have block parties, and that's exactly what the Providence Friars had in the first half. Their activity, the ability to block shots without fouling was what was most impressive to me.
A look at our first half stats, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Turnovers, 10 of them for the Xavier Musketeers. We talked about the blocks. 3-point field goals. How about the rebounds? A huge rebound advantage for Xavier over Providence in second chance points. 8 for Xavier, 0 for the Friars. And here Xavier starts with the ball to open up the second half. And it is the original starting 5 on the floor for both teams. So you've got Tyreek Jones, Quentin Gooden with the ball now, turns the corner, and that's another block. And it will be Providence basketball. It looked like it was Nate Watson, who's playing with 2 fouls, who had that block.
Well, one thing you learn in the Big East, just like with all the major conferences, when you're on the road, you got to finish strong. You're getting no favors from the officials, and guys are playing hard to control home court advantage. There's a lot of pride in this building by the boys in the white uniforms.
It's a career-high 4 blocks now for Watson. Alpha Diallo up in the air, kicks it out, 7 on the shot clock for Cartwright. Off the glass, too strong, and this will be number 3 against Watson. And that's a freshman mistake. You have to know you've got 2 fouls, know when to go for the rebound, when not to go for the rebound. That's one of those where you just don't go for it.
Yeah, once you see a guy in a black uniform has this ball pretty much secure, but he was in no man's land at that point. I think both players were going for the ball. He just went for it a little bit too late.
Ed Cooley will leave him in with those 3 fouls right now. They're in the zone. Macura. Kaiser Gates quiet in that first half. Macura puts it on the floor. Good jump stop. Rattles in and out. Macura goes down, a foul, and this foul, I believe, is going to go against Watson. That'll be number 4 against him, and he's going to have to come out.
And Eddie Cooley doesn't like it. And this is what you have to be careful. And the only reason I know is from experience. I love J.P. Macura. I see a lot of myself in his game. He baits you in. Here, doesn't get the ball to go down, but then he kind of just gets you in there. He grapples you, gets the arm underneath, falls down, sets you up. Cute little move. Got the official to fall for it.
Malik Young is in now. Blew it along the baseline. Kick out. Quentin Gooding for 3. His second 3 of the game. That's more 3s than he's had all year.
If you didn't think Xavier could get any better, that really is where it lies. If Quentin Gooding can start making 3s consistently, doesn't have to shoot them like Blewett, but if he can be a threat, boy, the sky is the limit for this Xavier team.
Young against Jones with the left, comes up short. Here's Blewett pushing it. Jones. And Jones gets fouled. The crowd wanted to travel. Jones will go to the free throw line. The foul will be called against Rodney Bullock, and that's the 3rd against him.
You have to like what Xavier's doing, though. They're driving the ball, and they're finding guys. And if there's no one open, just check the feet. I didn't see a travel there. I thought that was a great job. Keeping that pivot heel on the ground and stepping through by Jones.
Tyreek Jones just made the free throws. Isaiah Jackson will come in for Bullock, who goes to the bench with those 3. That free throw for Tyreek Jones snapped a streak of 7 consecutive missed free throws.
This is exactly where Chris Mack wants his team. If you can grind this game down a little bit, pace was fine for Providence in the first half. But you grind it down, and now you get to score when the clock is stopped at the foul line. One of the best in America. You've mentioned it. It's exactly where Xavier wants you.
Alpha Diallo, the handoff here to Cartwright, and Cartwright picks up a little touch foul by Tyreek Jones. And it's a mock cheer here by the fans at the dunk. The first against Jones, and the first team foul against Xavier here in the second half. That foul right there, that was like a Kemba Walker type foul.
Now there's, you know, the problem with officiating is you could call a foul every play. There's contact every time down, and it's not a job that I would ever want. Now, we have some good officials in this conference, but refs are humans too. They have feelings too, Coach.
Jackson, kick out, Lindsey for 3. And a good rebound by Jones.
And a good play. Macura got away with it, digging a little bit too deep.
Good and off the glass. No, Jones keeps it alive. Into the hands of Jackson. Jackson. Oh! Beautiful bounce pass for Cartwright. Puts it in. And the foul. You want fundamental basketball. That was fundamental basketball right there by Jackson.
And how about Isaiah Jackson, head up, looking over his shoulder, seeing guys, 2-foot jump stop, the ball fake, and then Cartwright, the presence of mind to keep running and keep your eye on the ball handler.
11 points now for Cartwright, 43-37, Providence leading. Macura, bounce pass for Jones with a big dunk. Macura could be a dangerous guy in that high post in the zone.
It's a weak spot. Throw it to that high post. Everyone goes to it. exploit the baseline.
Cartwright, that's a 2, puts it in. 13 now for Cartwright.
I love Kyron Cartwright. You think you got him cut off. He's slipping into jump shots. That time he stops, he turns. That's confidence in your jumper.
Macura, another bounce pass for Jones. Bobble.
Oh, wow. That's a great job by Jones, because if you don't make it, maybe you get a foul call. Just throw it up.
8 points now for Tyreek Jones, who averages 9 points per game. Jackson using his strength, puts up an air ball, gets it back. And we're going to have a foul here against Xavier.
And I love Tyreek here. Great bounce pass from your leader, Macura, and the finish. That's how you got to finish on the road, folks. Tyreek Jones.
Well, this has been a surprise. I think it's safe to say. Number 5, Xavier, against the Providence Friars. Look at this. Providence time with the lead versus the Xavier Musketeers time with the lead. Shocking.
We talk about how similar a lot of these teams, the top 4 or 5 teams, are in the Big East. And obviously, Villanova brings himself back after losing to Butler, but I'm not that surprised at the way Providence is playing based on what Ed Cooley thought he had at the beginning of the season. Now, Xavier is number 5, and what number 5 teams do is they make adjustments, Justin, and that's exactly what Chris Mack's group did. It's all about the paint points in this half, and maybe not just paint points, but points affected by the paint, meaning I drive, I kick it to you, well, maybe not to you, someone a little bit bigger than you. I kick it to you, to someone bigger than you down low, like a Tyreek Jones, he goes and finishes. But all their points in this half that have made a difference have been affected by getting to the paint.
And as far as Ed Cooley and his team is concerned, they thought they were going to have Emmett Holt. There is no Emmett Holt this year for them.
Who is
He's
their
out for the
vocal
year.
leader. He's the best player on their team. And you're right, not here, so they have to adjust. Playing well and winning games like this will help you adjust.
Tyreek Jones can't finish, gets his own miss, goes up strong. 8 straight points for Tyreek Jones, and it's now a 2-point ball game.
Again, why? Effects of getting to the paint and finding your big down low.
Who will step up right now here for the Friars? I did not like that last shot by Diallo out of the timeout. Did they get a better look here? Underneath, and a foul. Jackson gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. The foul will be called against J.P. Macura.
And great job by the aforementioned Macura. Jones doing a little Moses Malone impersonation, getting his own rebound there. For all you young people, Google Moses Malone if I'm dating myself. One of the best rebounders in the history of basketball, but
Also famous for saying faux, faux, faux.
faux, faux, faux. I'm surprised you know that.
Hey,
What are you,
historian.
25, 26?
Historian, come on. Jackson makes them both. 8 points now for Isaiah Jackson, who averages 6.3 points per game. Trayvon blew it. And Jackson rips down the rebound. Cartwright finds Bullock back in the game with those 3 fouls. Passed up a 3. And Jackson's yelling, hey, next time either shoot it or pass it to Lindsey in the corner.
Yeah, he had Lindsey wide open in the corner with the defender froze right in front of you.
Shot clock at 10. Cartwright. Young, offensive foul. Tyreek Jones drew it. Second foul against Khalif Young. And that's the 4th team foul. Chris Mack, with a win here today, would tie Pete Gillen for the most wins by a head coach in Xavier history. And of course, he played for Pete Gillen at Xavier.
Name has come up a lot. and other jobs around the country. But he's got something really nice at Xavier. And I think it means a little more when you play at that school as well that you're coaching at.
Karen Cantor missed the three, and now the offensive foul against Kaiser Gates called for a push-off. That's the third on Kaiser Gates.
Okay, so Tyreek Jones starts the half, does his job. Now, can the other auxiliary guys for Xavier step in and help Trayvon Blewett and JP McCura?
Well, McCura just picks up a foul, a reach-in against Jackson. Number 2 against him. And that's now the 6th-team foul. So think about this. There's 14:09 to go. 6 team fouls. The next foul against Xavier. And Providence is shooting free throws. However, Providence is not a good free throw shooting team. But still, it's free opportunities for them the rest of the way. Bullock posting up against Blewett. And there is the foul against Trayvon Blewett.
I don't know how you better defend that. I really don't. In college basketball, Justin, guarding in the post is almost an impossibility. Whether either your guy's going to score or you're going to get a foul called. You can't use any arms. You can't use a hand. When the guy can, you have to stand there basically and let the guy bang back into you and stand your ground. It is impossible nowadays to play defense in the post in college basketball.
Well, in that case, really smart coaching by Ed Cooley. You've got a guy in Bullock who's got the size advantage over Blewett. Get him in the low block, have him post up, and either draw a foul or get to the hoop.
And it also protects against your guys settling for jump shots when you know you're shooting free throws.
They're now in the bonus the rest of the way. 13 points for Bullock. 6-point lead here. Underneath, Cantor to the reverse, puts it in.
That's twice now in this half. Great job by Chris Mack. Throw McCura, a decision maker at the high post. If they don't play him, he can shoot it. If they do, he drops it off down low. Great play twice now for Xavier.
Again, Bullock trying to post up, this time against Gooden. Cartwright with Blewett closing out. Cartwright wanted a foul, no whistle. Here comes McCura. McCura, good behind the back dribble, a pass for Cantor. That was a heck of a play by JP McCura.
You lose sight of how good JP McCura really is. You know, the hair's flopping around. He's getting guys, baiting them into different plays. He is such a talent and a tough, tough kid.
4 assists. I know he said he reminds you of yourself. Sorry, you never had that dribble. And now an offensive foul called here against Khalif Young.
I mean, this is just a terrific job. Take a look. When we get it here, freeze it right there. That's the guy. JP McCura, now roll it. He turns the vision, doesn't even have to dribble. What he does, though, is he turns and looks, dumps it down. That's the right guy. That's a huge part of why he's at the top of the zone in a 1-3-1 on defense and why you put him in the middle against the zone offensively.
Quentin Gooden, Cartwright reaches in, strips it, Lindsey steals it. Notice how Providence went man on that possession. Cartwright turned the corner, hanging off the glass. He was looking for the foul, didn't get it, and Cartwright's got 15. Blewett now fouled by Jackson.
Well, Kyron knows how to use that body. We saw this in the first half. If you let him go left-handed, he's going to make you pay for it. Knows how to hang the soft release off the glass. And getting a little chippy in here.
Second foul against Jackson, 6th-team foul against Providence. So after this, free throws the rest of the way. A turnover on the inbounds. Cartwright leaves it off the Bullock, who's stripped by McCura.
Sit down! Sit down! Sit down! You're going to leave if you don't sit down. No problem.
And this is Kyron trying to find a guy. Well, that was the Bullock. He just exposed the basketball, and you heard one of our officials telling a fan to sit down. Probably could have been a foul from that angle. McCura might have gotten away with one, but probably one of your buddies back there yelling behind the stanchion, Justin.
I'm wondering if the fan was because he was wearing a Yankee hat here in New England. Jackson for three, hits the three. 11 now for Isaiah Jackson, and it's 54-47, under 12 to go. And they rise to their feet here at the dunk. Cantor, he's so good down there, and again, Bullock with those 3 fouls doesn't want to pick up a fourth. 11 for Cantor, and the 1-3-1 back in play now for Xavier.
Just have to point out how smart and how wonderful these fans here in Providence. The fans got loud on the defensive end, not just because their team did that.
They get loud for that too.
Boy, oh boy. They have not backed down, right, Coach? I mean, they have stepped up. Xavier's made their run. A lot of time to go. But the character that Providence is showing in this game is impressive so far.
Blewett, the step back, no. Cantor, the offensive rebound and putback. Karam Cantor's been a difference maker now at 13 points.
He barely jumps over a stack of papers. Doesn't get off his feet that well, but knows how to use the basket to his advantage with the reverse, using that big body.
Diallo, the free throw line jumper. Providence starting to heat up.
And what you like is Providence guys smiling and talking.
Blewett in the corner, good closeout by Diallo. Gooden left open for 3. Too long this time. Macura the offensive rebound. His putback gets the roll, and a timeout taken here by Chris Mack.
Nothing he can't do. J.P. Macura always in the right place at the right time.
10-11 to go. 6-point lead for Providence over number 5 Xavier.
Providence up 6, and simply because of the defense of Xavier, hands down. You'll see here inbound play on the baseline. Love when teams get something out of it. They're afraid to stretch it out, and then here you can't leave a guy like Jalen Lindsey open, who shoots coming into this game almost 50% from 3 in the corner, wide open. And then here everyone's getting involved. Diallo, mid-range game. Got to give Providence a lot of credit. They're not backing down. They're taking care of home right now. But with Xavier, you know there's a lifetime left on that clock, and Eddie Cooley knows that.
10-11 to go. Those points by J.P. Macura were the first points scored by Macura or Blewett in the second half for Xavier. And Xavier only trails by 6. So if you're Chris Mack, that's the reason why you might feel confident. There you go. That's it right there.
Yeah, that's the good news. The bad news is Providence is exploiting the defense, or lack thereof, of Xavier, getting anything they want.
Jackson gets the bump, and he'll go to the free throw line. The foul will be called against Quentin Gooden. His 3rd. And guess what? It's one of those situations. We're going right back to break, right? 59-53. Don't go anywhere. The score's still the same. It's 59-53.
Hey, it's starting to get to winning time. We gotta start to put some pressure on them in terms of like getting it right there on this next war and making an even game. All right, let's go now. Let's go.
Love it. I love Chris Mack because he doesn't mince words. He points true north. You know exactly what he means. There's no confusion with his players. The last 10 minutes is when we have to make this push. I would imagine that means you got to start on the defensive end. I think Providence is getting anywhere they want to. It's too easy, not a lot of resistance. And Isaiah Jackson just drove basically straight line from that corner wing area. Put the ball on the floor, got fouled. He's shooting a couple, but you know it has to start on the defensive end for Xavier this last 9:52.
Isaiah Jackson's got 11, make it 12. He had 19 and 7, both season highs on Wednesday in the overtime loss against Marquette. Xavier, 3 comeback wins this season. When trailing by 10 or more, they've been down by 11 in this one. It's a 61-53-point lead for Providence. 8 points with 9:45 to go. Najee Marshall, the freshman, and their Karam Cantor has been really good in this second half. Now with the right hand puts it in. And Karam Cantor's got 15. 10 of them coming here in the second half.
Quietest 15 of his career, I'm sure. But he's just lulling guys to sleep, backing them down. His teammates are staying out of the way, letting them go to work.
Diallo's jumper is good. They keep on exchanging buckets. Cantor against Bullock. Bullock's got the 3 fouls. Cantor, beautiful up and under move. How about the footwork of this kid?
That's old school right there. Just a great job of turning, getting these athletes up in the air and stepping under.
Lindsay back to Jackson. Shot clock to 10. Underneath Diallo. Blocking foul is going to be called here against Najee Marshall. And that's going to be 1-1 as that's the 19th foul.
This is just beautiful work by Karam Cantor. Gets a little bit of a bump, a little separation, and then this here sets you up like he's going over the left shoulder. Little step through, help comes late. It's old school right there. Cantor's an old soul when he catches that ball down low.
Remember the free throw graphic we showed you? How Providence struggles?
Scrap it?
Yeah, they're 10 for 10 at the line here today. Compared to the 5th best team in the country, who's 8 for 12.
I'm sure this one will say a lot about who they are when you talk about shooting from the foul line, because if you can keep that thing going, now the clock is stopped, you're scoring points, and you're gaining confidence. You're separating yourself when you look at the scoreboard if you're Providence.
Cantor turns. Oh my gosh, how did he put that one in? 19 now.
A coming out party in Providence with Karam Cantor. Woo!
Lindsay. Plenty of time on the shot clock here. Jackson finds Lindsay. Extra pass. Cartwright in the corner for 3. Got it! 18 points for Cartwright. Macura comes right back and puts it in, but trading 3s for 2 when you're down by a lot. That's advantage Providence.
Well, this game's going to come down to who is going to take the quality and correct shots for each team. We know probably who it's going to be for Xavier, one of 2 guys, and on the other side, who's going to be for Providence?
Lindsay for 3, short, and a rebound for Blewett. Marshall, Macura was looking for the foul. Ball comes out for Gooden. Cantor, he wants a clear out.
Just grinds you down, he grinds you down.
And turns it over. And a reaching foul against Macura. That'll be number 3 against him.
Big fella, you got 19. Don't pass, shoot. Just like Kyron Cartwright. Give me the ball.
He's leading Xavier here with 6:47 to go in the second half. Justin Kutcher alongside Donnie Marshall. Donnie, this game has been a ton of fun. Back and forth. We were wondering, would Providence be able to weather the storm? No pun intended here in the Northeast. They have, but there's still 6:47 left.
Yeah, they've been answering the bell, but so hasn't Xavier. Xavier's done a great job of coming back, but you're right. You can't trade 3 for 2s. Someone's going to have to get a stop. What do they say? Defense wins championships?
Yeah.
It's not a championship game, but I have a feeling that defense is going to win this game today.
And again, as far as Providence is concerned, the last time They beat a top 5 team at home, 2009, against #1 Pitt, 81-73. By the way, it's now January 6, 2018. Alpha Diallo at the free throw line.
I mean, look at that. You know, Eddie Cooley before the game is very calm for a guy who was trying to figure out how I play through injured players, guys who don't have maybe that much confidence after an overtime loss and giving up 52 to an underclassman from Marquette. But his team has come out and they've answered a lot of questions. Their toughness, their belief in one another, and they keep coming back. You know, this is what you need this time of year if you're Eddie Cooley in Providence. And if you're Chris Mack, you got to answer the bell too. Only your 4th road game, true road game of the year.
1 of 2 at the line. That was the first miss at the line for Providence today. Providence comes out in the 2-3 zone. Najee Marshall, the freshman, gets inside. Easy look for him. His first 2 points of the game.
No answer in that 2-3 zone for Eddie Cooley's guys right now. They've run that play at the high post 3 times, Xavier, and they've scored 3 times.
Bullock against Jones, fading away, difficult shot. Good defense by Tyreek Jones. Here comes Gooden.
Great D, and I don't like the shot by Bullock. Use your foot speed and go by Jones.
Macura, jump stop. Is this going to be an offensive foul? It is, and it's number 4 against Macura. Macura's got 9 points, 4 fouls with 5:56 to go, and he's going to go to the bench.
Not only, in my opinion, is he the best point guard in the Big East, true point guard, Kyron Cartwright, but one of the smartest players in all of the country. You can't make that play against Kyron Cartwright. Maybe a bigger guy, a wing player, but that's just a heads-up job of squaring up, staying on your feet, and taking the blow.
So that's the 4th foul against him. That's big because he's usually the top of that 1-3-1. Jackson with the miss from up close. The rebound by Tyreek Jones. A chance to cut into this lead again. Where's Blewett in the second half? He's been scoreless, and now he draws the foul. And that's going to be 1-1 here for Trayvon Blewett. And Blewett in this game, he is scoreless in the second half. He's got 12 points, but he's 2 for 4 at the line.
He's more of a facilitator in the second half. If I'm his teammate, and he's being a good teammate, Coach, but if I'm his teammate, I'm like, listen, I don't want you to be a good teammate. To me, a good teammate is scoring and winning this game for us, not being a facilitator.
I'm saying, dude, you're our leading scorer. You average almost 20 a game. We need it. And he misses again, his 3rd miss at the line in this game. Again, he's an 88.5% free throw shooter on the season, and he has 3 misses. He's 2 of 5 at the line, and the foul here is going against Tyreek Jones. That's number 2 against him. Double bonus now for Providence.
You have to imagine that Chris Mack's crew has another mini little run in them. And if you're Ed Cooley, you're telling your guys, listen, that same energy that we gave in the first half, we need that this last 5.5 minutes. You can rest tomorrow. You know this team is too good, Xavier, to relax on them this last 5.5 minutes.
Bullock at the line for 2, knocks down the first. The game reset sponsored by SoFi, rethinking personal finance. Here it is, timeouts and the foul situation.
And this game's going to come down for both sides to between the ears. Obviously, the same level of energy in your play, but it's going to come down to take care of the basketball. No one knows that better than Kyron Cartwright with 3 turnovers late in that overtime loss to Marquette.
15 points now for Bullock. 8-point lead. On their feet. Under 5.5 to go. Marshall doesn't get the foul, and now there is a foul. As Tyreek Jones goes to the floor, and the foul is going to be against Khalif Young. That's number 4 against him, but Tyreek Jones goes to the line, and Tyreek Jones is not a good free throw shooter. A 54% free throw shooter. He is 2 for 2 in this game, though.
Well, there were 2 or 3 fouls on that play, and they finally got the whistle on one of them. But if you're Providence, this is the guy you want at the line.
Knocks it down. The sophomore from Bloomfield, Connecticut, Cantor. Macura on the bench. Macura with those 4 fouls. Jones now 11 points, 6 rebounds. How does this make sense? He's 4 of 4 at the line, and Trayvon Blewett's got 3 misses at the line. Diallo in the high post. 5 minutes to play. Bullock. Cartwright against Gooden. Cartwright elevates. No. Bullock the offensive rebound. They'll reset with a fresh 30.
Heads up play between the ears, Coach. You didn't need to go right back up. That is a smart play by Rodney Bullock after that great offensive rebound.
Bullock dribbles it off the foot of Gates. Providence gets it back. Jackson. Tied up, jump ball, possession arrow, stays Providence with 9 on the shot clock. Khalif Young is back off the bench. Who's he coming in for? He's going to come in for Isaiah Jackson.
I think it's important to note that this is probably Eddie Cooley's deepest team since he's been here. Probably maybe one of his deepest team ever as a head coach. And he's figuring out how to work these guys in this last 4.5 minutes and keep guys fresh mentally and physically.
Shot clock down to 4. Cartwright. Shot clock at 2. Puts it up. Front rims it. And the rebound by Jones. Blewett. Blewett off the glass. No. The follow by Jones. No. And the rebound by Bullock. We are having a couple of audio issues here, but it's 71-65. Providence leading under 4 to play. Looking for the upset here at home against Xavier, who's won 10 in a row, and now a turnover by Kyron Cartwright looking for Khalif Young.
Tough angle there. You got to get that ball a little bit closer to the corner and make it easier for your big.
3:45 to play. The Musketeers 10-game winning streak on the line. Trail by 6. Oh, this is fun. Cherokee back here inside the dunk. It is cold outside, and Trayvon Blewett, J.P. Macura, the 2 leading scorers for Xavier, they have gone cold, especially here in the second half. 4 combined points between the 2, all 4 courtesy of J.P. Macura, and Trayvon Blewett is just 2 of 5 from the free throw line today. An 88.5% free throw shooter. His team down by 6.
He's only missed 10 free throws on the season. You think about that, he's missed 3 today. But I still think it comes down to getting stops. They've scored 3 consecutive baskets, Xavier, but Providence has done the same thing at the other end. So when you're down, you got to get stops. Yes, you got to get baskets, but you can't trade baskets the last 3-4 minutes of a game.
It will be Xavier ball with 3:45 to go. Quentin Gooden on the floor with Gates. Karen Cantor is back out there. Blewett and Macura. Macura's got 4 fouls. Karen Cantor finds Blewett for 3, has it blocked. Cartwright up ahead. Bullock for the dunk. Deflected out of bounds, will stay Xavier ball. Bullock got the block, got the run out, and maybe got away with a travel.
How about Kyron Cartwright? Sees the ball on the deflection. The bigs were boxing out. They had their backs to the ball, catches it, throws it up to Bullock running.
8 blocks for Providence. Cantor, he puts it in. Karam Cantor with 21. That is a Xavier high for him. The transfer from Wisconsin Green Bay. His career high is 23.
How about the touch and the body control of Cantor? Bullock was standing in to take a charge.
Bullock underneath, Lindsey throwing it away, was looking for Khalif Young. That's the kind of turnover Xavier needs right now.
You're Lindsey, you got the highest vertical in the building. Jump straight up. Heads up play again. Bullock just stretches out. Tell you what, the refs called the travel on that. It'd be very difficult for them to get out of this building. So great job swallowing the whistle there.
Cantor off the dribble, and he gets called for a travel.
It's much different when you're doing your work 5 feet and in versus 15 feet and in. Defenses can get set. Your defender can move his feet. I don't know. I didn't see a lot of...
I didn't see it.
It just looked awkward. 1, 2. Yeah, there was a little half a step. That's why we're sitting over here, and they're wearing the stripes, I guess, Coach. But I don't want their job.
No, I like our job. Jackson to the hoop. And the foul!
Now you talk about situations in life helping you build character. Well, this game is a character builder for Eddie Cooley's team. They are finding out a lot about themselves, how they compete, how they fight, and show their toughness from start to finish with 2 minutes to play.
16 in the game for Jackson, 10 in the second half. 2 minutes to go. Blew it. Gates for 3, short. Cantor gets fouled. And we have to bring this up, right? There's 1:48 to go. This game for Xavier was one of those trap games. It's a 12 noon tip time. You're playing on the road at Providence. Who do you have on Wednesday? Villanova at the Wells Fargo Center. Huge game. You never want to look beyond your opponent, but it's human nature. You start thinking about it. You're number 5, they're number 3. It's this matchup you're dreaming about. The coaches were worried what would happen in the start of this game. Well, the Friars have essentially led throughout. As Cantor's 1 of 2 at the line.
And a couple things to unpack for you in that statement you just made. For the players, you're right. You look ahead. For the coaches, these two have been around this conference long enough now to understand you can't take a playoff. And there, if you're thinking you're coming in here and you're going to beat Providence because of the number in front of your jersey, you see what can happen.
Shot clock down to 4. Bullock leaves it off, and a turnover by Jackson with 1:19. And you know, everybody in this arena right now is thinking back to what happened the other night. Xavier's got to go. Cantor has the mismatch, comes up short. And a rebound by Lindsey. The foul is given with 1:07 to go.
When you talk about dodging bullets, Rodney Bullock is your leading scorer. He's got to score the ball from 3 feet in front. And not at the other end. How about that? The smallest guy on the floor standing Karam Cantor straight up, forcing him the front rim miss. And Matt is saying the same thing. You got the smallest guy behind you. Oh my gosh, if you read his lips.
Lindsey knocks down the free throw. This Xavier team, number 5 in the country, ties their highest mark ever in the AP poll. 15-1, ties their best start in school history. 10 straight wins, second longest under Chris Mack. 78-68, down by 10, 1 minute to go. Gooden going to the hoop. No, the follow by Cantor is good. And a timeout here by Mack. 8-point game, 59.2. Buckle up. Everybody here knows what happened the other night. Providence against Marquette. They had that lead. Minute and a half to go. They blew the lead. It went to overtime. Marcus Howard dropped 52 points. We talked about this game. Xavier, Villanova, that game Wednesday night on FS1. People are looking forward to that one. It was a concern because, again, it's human nature. Donnie, you said it. The coaches, they weren't looking ahead to that game. No coach does. But the players, you played. You know you looked ahead.
Absolutely. First of all, as a player, you don't like 12 o'clock games. It's too early. It gets you out of your routine.
Yeah.
Not only that, you do look and say, okay, we're in Providence. It's cold. We're not really happy to be away from home. Let's just go in, show up, and we're going to come away with this win because we got to get ready for Villanova. It tells you a lot about what Big East basketball is and always has been. If you rest, if you think you can just go into a building and show up because you're ranked, whatever it might be, in Xavier's case, number 5, you're mistaken. Now, there's still time to go, and we've seen some crazy things happen, not just in this building to this Providence team, but around the country this season. So a lot of time for Xavier to get back and try to get this win, but also a lot of time for Providence to say, okay, let's hold on to this thing.
A 12 noon tip in the cold weather. It's like eating a bag of broccoli for breakfast. It's not what you're used to. It's not good.
It's what I'm used to. Speak for yourself. You meat eater, you.
Providence to inbound. Ed Cooley looking for the upset. Diallo. They're trying to trap. They have to foul if they don't get the steal. Bullock ahead to Jackson. Now you got a foul. There is the foul given by Blewett with 48.5. Jackson is 6 for 6 at the line today. 16 points, 10 of them coming here in the second half, following 19 points against Marquette on Wednesday.
And not a bad free throw shooter at 75%, but sometimes these situations in games really tell you a lot about yourself. Are you going to tense up, or are you going to finish this play off?
But look at the game summary. Kyron Cartwright nearing that double-double, 18 points, 9 assists. The Friars got off to a great start. They've never really looked back. The second chance points, unbelievable for Xavier, a 22-point advantage. And yet they're still down. They're down by 10. And Xavier's got to go. Good in the spin. He puts it in, 38.8. Cartwright in the corner. Gets it to Jackson. You got a foul. Where's the foul? Macura's got 4.
Wow.
There it is. Macura's fouled out with 25.7.
How about the ball handling? You know, Xavier is jumping guys. They're trying to force turnovers with that full court press. The composure of Providence this entire second half has really been impressive. Yeah, they've taken a couple of hits, a couple of turnovers here and there, a couple of foul calls, but they have kept playing, and guys have stepped into their roles very, very nicely for Eddie Cooley.
Now 19 points for Cartwright. 19 of 21 are the Friars from the free throw line. You don't foul. Gooden all the way to the hoop. Misses. Bullock has it. And that will do it. Providence will pull off the upset. The first time beating a top 5 team at home since February 24th, 2009 when they beat number 1 Pitt, 81-73. This one they win 81-72.
We say it a lot, Justin, when we see these great games in our conference. This is Big East basketball at its best. No one in this conference cares if you're ranked 1, if you're ranked 351. You better come and show up when you're on the road or you'll get beat.
People say that one conference is the best, this conference is the best. I don't know if there's a better conference top to bottom than the Big East. 81-72, Providence upsets number 5 Xavier here at the Dunk in Providence. For Donnie Marshall, I'm Justin Kutcher saying so long from here in Providence, Rhode Island. Stay warm, everybody. You've been watching College Hoops here on Fox.